Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dead to Rights, the podcast video for the crime genre industry. I'm your host, Donna Carrick. We'll be bringing you a great show today featuring funny lady Melodie Campbell, who is the author of the Goddaughter mystery series. Melodie's latest novella was just nominated for an Arthur Ellis Award for The Goddaughter Does Vegas, so be sure to look that up. Melodie is also a previous nominee many times over, as well as a recipient of the Best Novella Arthur Ellis Award for The Goddaughter's Revenge. So her series is really well acclaimed and really worth looking into. But before we get to that, I'd like to talk to you about our upcoming anthology titled A Grave Diagnosis. Carrick Publishing is planning to release this anthology in the fall, if all COVID-related situations are back to normal by then. And if you've got a story that you'd like to submit for this anthology, we are still accepting submissions right up until June 1st. We're not considering it full until June 1st, and we can see which are the very best of the stories that we'll include on that date. Your story must be between 1,500 and 8,000 words in length. It must feature a crime because this is a crime anthology. And our theme for this year, as the title dictates, is illness. So there must be an illness related to either your protagonist, your antagonist, your crime, or your solution. I'll leave it up to your imagination to see how you fit it in. And no, it does not need to be COVID related. It can be, but it doesn't need to be. So I'll really look forward to seeing what you send. You can send it to me at carrickpublishing@rogers.com, and be sure to say a grave diagnosis story submission in your subject line so that I am alerted and looking for your email. If you want to find the full submission guidelines, you can find them at www.carrickpublishing.com. And now, before we get to Melodie, I've got to bring you a quick public service announcement related to COVID-19. COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. People with chronic and/or severe health conditions are at higher risk of complications as they contract the disease. Watch for symptoms such as cough, fever, and shortness of breath. If you are experiencing these symptoms, please call a hotline and/or consult medical advice. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you. Hi, Melodie. Welcome to Dead to Rights. How are you?
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to be here.
It's great to talk to you and hear your voice. I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, I know. My hair is going to be a different color by the time you see me next time, too.
It already is, and I'm sure you can tell that just by looking at me on the camera. Amazon tells me that my new hair color is going to be coming very soon.
Yes, your new one. Yes, whatever you can get.
My new old one. Same color, just new box.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people who are feeling that they should be wearing the masks on the top of their head when they go out right now.
Hopefully you won't recognize us, eh? Yes. Well,
That's
surely
right,
won't.
exactly. It's not my gray hair. What are you talking about? That wasn't me. I'll be
I know, and huge for me, I didn't realize eyebrows went gray.
Yeah. I don't have the guts to do anything about coloring my eyebrows.
Yes, this will be a shock.
Yeah, exactly. But they are already going. So congratulations on your Arthur Ellis nomination for The Goddaughter Does Vegas.
Oh, thank you.
That's for the best novella category. Very exciting. I want to lead with that. How many times have your books been nominated right now?
I think there should be an award for this. I've had 8 nominations. Won it once, but I've been a bridesmaid 7 times.
But you have been a bride once, so that's the important thing. Yes. Yeah. And that was for which novella? Remind me. I know it was one of the
second in the series, in the Goddaughter series, the Goddaughter's Revenge. That also won the Derringer in the U.S.
All right. So that one was a
nice year.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, it's a really fantastic series, and I know that a lot of our listeners will like humor and crime, and these will give you just a whole smacking of both humor and crime. They're just wonderful books.
Well,
And your character, Gina, tell us a little bit about her.
about Gina Gallo, who,
Yes.
yeah, a romantic clef, a little bit maybe. Uh, I
Mm-hmm.
remember when my first book came out, The Goddaughter, and I was in Hamilton doing a big launch there, and the CHCH TV was there. And the fellow behind the camera said to me, "So, have you ever met a member of the mob?" And I said, "Yes." And just right there. And then we went off camera. The way I like to put it, Donna, is there are two well-known mob families in Hamilton, and I'm not related to one.
Okay, okay.
I had to
So do
wait
the
until
math, people. Do the math. Follow the clues. We know you like crime, so follow the clues. Now this is
I
going
had
to
to
air,
wait a moment.
Melody, and I know that you tend to be a little careful about what you say. So just so
Yeah,
you know, this is going to air. Yeah. So no names. No
no
names.
names. And I had to wait until a lot of people died before I could actually get this published. And obviously, it's satire. This is not real.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
write madcap
Well,
comedy.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the lone rearranger. Yeah,
Yes.
that's Nico, right? Nico, the
Yes.
lone
Nico's my.
rearranger, and you've
Yeah.
got the granny who likes to cat burgle, and
Yes. Yes.
mhm.
It's a fun series. I was always very far away from any family business. That was my
Mhm.
mother's generation, not my generation. And
Mhm.
it's very different now, but still some of the inspiration for it
Mhm.
came from family stories, particularly the line, he died cleaning his gun. That was
Yes.
an interesting family expression. I found out later. It meant, of course, he died from lead poisoning.
Yes, yes. Another great euphemism. Yeah, euphemism.
This latest one, The Goddaughter Does Vegas, is an interesting story behind the derivation of that plot. I was part of that Yahoo email hack and password hack 3 years ago. They hacked
Okay.
my Yahoo account, my Amazon, and my Apple account,
Oh.
and it was devastating, just devastating. But then I thought after the fact, hey, I can use this. And so the plot of
Mhm.
that latest one, the one that's up for the award, is identity theft. And
Mhm.
so not only do they hack her accounts, but they steal her identity. And of course, it's great fun because
Well,
she,
yes, in your stories, it's great fun. I don't think I would find it fun at all. So,
it
if
wasn't
anybody
at
is
the time.
listening out there that has a bent in that direction, please move on to the next victim because that's not something I could tolerate.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I had to change a lot of my stuff,
Oh, I bet
now,
you. I'll bet you.
and I'm super careful now, everything I do on there,
Yeah.
but it did give me a story.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no two passports the same. I mean, no two passwords the same.
Okay, you
They're
just
all
spoke
like
like Gina
extremely
Gallo there.
lengthy and they're all nonsensical. So,
Okay, okay,
don't bother
Donna.
trying to look up my birthday because you're not going to
Yeah,
log into anything with my birthday.
Donna, that slip though was perfect there. You said I have no two passports the same, and that's something that Gina Gallo would say.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, I'm just going to pause this for a second. I had a call coming in. Sorry about that. That's why I disappeared on you. But, I'm using my phone for this. So.
Mhm.
So it reverts to telephone calls when it wants to.
Yes.
I have a Mac coming. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
Oh
I'm
my
so
goodness.
excited. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
This whole pandemic, self-isolation thing and working from home has taught me that I cannot do everything in the world on my laptop.
yes.
So I have to have, I've decided I'll just go all in and really try to make this work, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about The Goddaughter Does Vegas. Just a little bit about the plot without giving too much of the story away.
Okay. Well, Gina Gallo is eloping to Vegas.
Mhm.
This may be a mortal sin in an Italian family, but unfortunately, the hall that they were going to have their wedding in burned down.
Oh,
So, so they're eloping.
did
And
it die
by
cleaning its basement? Did the hall die cleaning its basement?
yeah, that book was called The Bootlegger's Goddaughter.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
that book was, what was it shortlisted for? I think it was shortlisted for the Ontario Library Association Award. And anyways, that book ended with their hall being burnt down. So of course they're going to Vegas for their wedding.
Hmm.
And on the way there, she discovers that her Amazon account has been hacked. And then she discovers that her identity has been stolen to lure men on a website called what's the name of it? Sorry, sugardaddy.com.
Oh,
There is
lovely.
her gorgeous picture that's luring men there. And of course,
Oh,
it
great.
becomes front page news in the newspaper in Vegas, and then she's almost running for her life. But of course,
Oh,
it's
great.
great fun.
Hmm.
And I always say, with the Gina Gallo mystery, why should things go right when they can go wrong? And that'll give you
Hmm.
a lot of what's going down.
Yes, yes. So she kind of operates under Murphy's law, if
Yes,
Murphy were Italian.
yes, absolutely. I should have given her a last name of Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There
How
you go.
Italian is that? I'll just spell it with an I.
That's right. Murfini,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, very
Murfini
good.
sauce.
Next book,
There
writing it
you go.
down.
Yeah. 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 You can use that. That's all right. I won't
Yeah.
copyright it. My little brilliant gems.
Yes.
Oh my God. You gotta laugh, don't you?
Mhm. Yes.
So I know that you've been having a tough time with isolation. But have you been able to be at all productive?
Yeah, somewhat. I was up until Saturday, I was still teaching. So,
Okay.
and all of our college courses have gone online. So I had a
Of
lot of
course.
marking to do up until this week.
Hmm.
I am doing a new series now. My agent in New York was wanting me to try something full length again. So
Hmm.
what I'm doing is a series that actually Don Graves gave me the idea for, and that is I'm doing Gina Gallo's great grandmother. And so this is a
Okay.
series that will take place in the 1920s flapper time. And she's actually a
Hmm.
member of the mob that has married into the British aristocracy. And this particular
Okay.
murder is called the Merry Widow murder and takes place on a ship crossing from New
Mhm.
York to, probably Plymouth or Liverpool. So that's what
Wow.
I'm reading now. And it again is humorous. It's
Mhm.
definitely crime. And the research, oh my God, Donna, the research. Oh,
Oh yes.
you
Oh
gotta get
yes.
hooked. So I'm
Yeah.
learning all about different cocktails in the 1920s and of course having to
Hmm.
test them.
Are you? I was gonna say, are you having? You're testing them without me? How does that work? How does that even work, Melody? How does that even work?
Well, I hope you like gin.
I don't. My mother loved gin. She was in love with Tom Collins, and
Oh, yes.
no, I've never been able to stomach gin. I'm a rum baby. I like my sweets, you
Okay.
know.
Okay. Well, gin
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
drink of
But
the
there's
20s.
a lot of
Yeah.
different ways to make rum. I love a pina colada and
Oh, yeah.
taking walks in the rain.
Oh, I'll skip on the rain. I'm from Vancouver. We had enough of that.
Yes, yes, exactly. I'm not really big on walking in the rain either. I'll say I am if it'll get me a pina colada. Unfortunately, my home office doesn't have room service.
Yes, well, I'm not far from the fridge, so
Oh, I am. I got shunted upstairs from my home office because both Alec and I had to spend a lot of time on the phone, and
yeah,
he's at the dining room table, so I ended up shunting upstairs. But I finally this week got my printer up here, so
very
you
good.
know, yeah, yeah. So my exercise is going to be cut down to about a quarter now.
Mm.
Not good,
Yes,
not good.
exercise. Geez, walking back and forth to the fridge. That's about it.
Mine was
Oh,
running up and downstairs to the printer. It was
yeah.
just crazy. Yeah. Well, excellent. So you're working on a 1920s flapper, a crime novel with humor that features Gina's great great grandmother. Is that
Yeah,
right?
great
Have I got
grandmother.
that right?
Great
Yes, and
grandmother.
great grandmother. I had too many greats. And she's married into the royal family,
Yeah, the
and
British.
she's coming to America, is she?
Well, going the other way, actually, going back
Oh,
on a
yeah.
virgin voyage of a ship. And I think the
Okay.
interesting thing is, and a lot of people don't know this, but the Italian mob, they weren't poor; they had money.
Mm-hmm.
So when Lucy, that's her name. Her name would have been Lucy Perry, after you may know the name Rocco Perry in Hamilton. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Lucy Perry
Mm-hmm.
is going across, and of course she's got money, and she was also raised upper class. That's the other thing. My mother's family, they came over with a lot of money, and they knew their etiquette. So she
Okay.
passes very well on a ship
Mm-hmm.
for somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's upper class. And
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and she is actually escaping her family. She's escaping a marriage in her family that she doesn't
Okay.
want. Because one of the biggest problems, of course, is the Italian mob took very good care of their families. I mean, they really
Mm-hmm.
did. You didn't want for anything, and they loved you to death. But they also
Mm-hmm.
determined your future. And Lucy wasn't the
Yes.
type that would stand for
No.
that. So on this
No.
on her first trip over, she met somebody, a man who was a third son of a lord, married him. The rest of the family was killed at the Somme, and so now she is a viscountess.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And she kind of takes after her creator in that she's
Ah,
not going to be told what to do with her life. Is that, am I right on with that?
probably of all of the protagonists I've written. Well, this will be my 20th book that I've written, the 17th probably
I read
published.
that somewhere that this was going to
Yeah.
be your 20th. That's quite a milestone. Congratulations on that. And
Well, thank you.
you've also got quite a number of short stories, including one that is going into, and I have to plug it, A
Yes.
Grave Diagnosis, which is coming out in
Yes.
the fall. Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous title and theme for our world now,
Well,
isn't
it
it?
was accidental. I came up with the theme and the title before the pandemic was widely known.
Mm-hmm.
And I already had a few stories, yours included, and
Yeah.
I couldn't go back. I couldn't change
Yeah.
it. So now I'm here feeling like people will think, "Oh my God, what a vulture!" But there was nothing I could do about it. So here
No,
we
just
are.
put it in your forward. Just put it in the
That's
forward.
right, exactly. I'll just put oops. My forward will say oops. A little too close to home for most of
Yeah.
us. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get a flurry of COVID related
You
stories.
will. I'm sure you
Yeah,
will. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm glad I had a number of stories before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that didn't happen. Where else can we find your short stories, Melody?
Oh gosh. Well, they have appeared, of course, I think in about 5 of your anthologies, Donna, at least
Yes,
5.
that's
I
right.
think
That's
in
right.
Mesdames anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred Hitchcock has published a number of mine, and I know one of them is a podcast, or two. I think they have two of them podcast on their sites, on Alfred Hitchcock's site. Um,
Excellent. And I think Dead to Rights has a couple of them podcasted at
that's
various
right.
times too in
That's right.
earlier episodes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well, that's wonderful, Melody. Thank you very much for joining us today on Dead to Rights. And just stay on the line with me for a moment, if you don't mind. I just want to chat with you for a sec. It was really a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, thank you. And it's always such fun talking to you, Donna.
Yes. Oh, and actually,
It's
you know what?
fun.
I'll edit out. I'll edit out my goodbyes because I knew there was something I was forgetting. I wanted to ask you if you have any tips because you do teach creative writing. So, do you have any particular tips that you'd like to impart for writers?
Oh boy, so many I could say. The number one thing I leave my classes with at the end is, you need three things to be a writer. Three things. You need talent. And by talent, I mean the ability to come up with original ideas, things that haven't
Mm-hmm.
been done before.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you need the craft. You need to learn the craft. And a good writing course will take several years off your apprenticeship. But three
Mm-hmm.
is probably the most important, and that is you need the passion. You need
Yes.
the ability to stick at your computer for 1,000 hours to write a novel, because that's how long it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have all three of these things. You can't just have the passion and not the craft. And unfortunately, talent is only 1/3 of it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that would be my
Fortunately
biggest.
or unfortunately, exactly. Because
Mhm.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if people think that they can overstep the craft element, that grows thin really soon, you know.
Yes.
You really
And that's
do have
fine.
to. You have to be prepared to take notes and
Oh, yes. And
really
learn. We're
hone
always
that.
learning. And I would
Yes.
say my final thing after that is write what you wish somebody else would write so you could read it.
Yes.
That's my number
Yeah.
one piece. Write something that really excites you, and that
Yes.
will keep you at it.
And that excitement comes through in the written word. It certainly comes through in your books. They're
Oh,
just
good.
really, capers is the right word for them because they really
Mm.
just careen from the opening sentence right to the end, pretty much all of them. And they're just great fun to read. You can't put them down once you start.
Oh, thank
So
you, Donna.
if you are a listener who likes to read humorous crime novels, look up Melodie Campbell, and in particular, look up her Goddaughter series. But that's not all. I mean, there are others as well. So, and enjoy. And Melodie, thank you very much for joining us on Dead to Rights. I really appreciate you coming on with us today.
My pleasure.
I want to thank Melodie Campbell for joining us today on Dead to Rights, the podcast video. It was just great having Melodie on. It's always a laugh talking to her. And please look her up. She's a great mentor, a great teacher of writing, frankly, creative writing. And she's a great friend. So thank you very much, Melodie. It was a pleasure having you on. I also want to send my thanks to Ted Carrick, who is the composer and performer of our Dead to Rights theme song, Eyes of Gold. And you hear it every week here on Dead to Rights. It's an original. Thank you, Ted. Now be sure to join us next week when we'll be bringing you an interview with author Lynn Murphy, who is very well known on the Toronto crime writing scene and was one of the founding members of the Sisters in Crime Toronto chapter, in fact. So it'll be a real pleasure to have Lynn on, and her stories are simply delightful. If you can look them up, they have appeared so many places, including in every single Mesdames of Mayhem anthology. So you'll find Lynn Murphy there. And we'll hope to see you next week. Thank you.
A dusty road, man alone. His vital signs go on hold. And I don't know what you've been told, but the years have turned my eyes gold. And I told you what you told me, we'd never be in the same boat for free, yet it rides